Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So today we're diving into the exciting world of cryptocurrency arbitrage trading. Have you ever noticed price differences between exchanges and wondered if you could profit from them? Well, in this video, I'll show you how to build a crypto arbitrage bot using Python. Now, whether you're a beginner or an experienced trader, I'll break down the entire process step by step, fetching real-time prices, identifying arbitrage opportunities, and calculating profit margins. So, what exactly is arbitrage? Well, arbitrage is the process of buying an asset at a lower price on one exchange and selling it at a higher price on another exchange. And this way you can take the advantage of the price differences to make a profit. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. Right now, I'm currently on Google's website called colab.research.google.com because it makes it easy to start programming in Python. So if you want to program along with me, just go to this website and then log in with your Google account to get started writing your Python code. All right, so the first thing I want to do is click on File, click on New Notebook in Drive. This will open up a new tab for me and eventually a new cell. All right, and there we go. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to import the libraries that I need for this program. Okay, so I'm going to import request. So when I import the request library, I can make HTTP requests to fetch data from APIs. And I'm going to also import pandas as PD. And this will allow us to handle data processing and analysis. So let me go ahead and run this cell by clicking this button here to the left, and this will let me know if I made any mistakes. All right, so we can see that I did get a mistake, and that's because I misspelled requests. It should be with an S. All right, so let's try that again. Let's run it. And now I get a nice little check mark. So there we go. All right, so let's take a look at some of these APIs that I'm going to be using to fetch the actual price. And we're going to be fetching Bitcoin's price, real-time data using that API. So let's go ahead and come up here. Now, this right here is an API for Binance. You can see it in the URL. And you can see that it also says service unavailable from a restricted location according to so and so forth, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so this right here, we're obviously receiving some sort of error, some message that we don't really want, right? And that's okay because we can use this as an example to show how we can handle these type of issues. All right, so let's take a look at another API that's a little bit better, right? That actually has the price of Bitcoin here that we're going to be fetching. So here I have Coinbase's API, and we can see the amount, the Bitcoin amount here, and it's in USD. The currency is USD. So here we can just fetch this data using Coinbase's API, using this URL. And then we can see something very similar for Kraken. Using Kraken's API, we can fetch Bitcoin's price data, which will be down here. Okay. All right, so let's get back to our code and let's continue. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new cell by clicking that code button in the top left. All right, that will open up a new cell for me. And now what I want to do is I want to basically create a dictionary that contains these three APIs. So I'm going to define cryptocurrency exchanges and API endpoints to fetch Bitcoin price data. And again, remember the idea is to find a price difference in one exchange compared to another exchange, right? And then profit from that difference, that price difference. All right, so let's go ahead and get these exchanges. I'm going to create a variable called exchanges. I'm going to make it all capitals or all caps. So exchanges. I like what Google put here. I'm just going to just tab over. Okay. Now let's just double check this, what Bitcoin has. So For Binance, it's going to be using the API here, this URL. So it's https://api.binance.com/api/v3/ticker/price ? Symbol equals BTC USDT. So that's the same URL that I showed you all earlier. And then also put bitstamp here. I'm just going to leave bitstamp there for now. Let's add some more of these APIs. So Google has added these APIs here for us. So I'm just going to tab over. Let's do a quick spot check. So here we're going to have Coinbase's API or URL. So that's https://api.coinbase.com/vt or sorry v2/prices/BTC-USD/spot. So that looks good. And then we have Kraken. Kraken's URL is https://api.kraken.com/0/ticker?pair equals XBT USD. So that looks good. And I'm going to actually get rid of this bitstamp here. All right, and then I'm going to end this with a curly brace. So this will create our dictionary for us. And a dictionary is just a key value pair. So the key here, in this case, being the exchanges, and the value being the URLs or API. All right, so let's go ahead and run this cell. Oh, looks like I have an error. That's because I need to put a uh, I believe this is called a, oh man, it's killing me right now. A single quote. So we're gonna put a single quote right there. So let's go ahead and run this again. All right, so that looks good. Let's create a new cell. Okay, now in this cell, we're going to create a function to fetch the latest Bitcoin price from each of these exchanges. All right, so let me go ahead and put that in comments. I'm just going to put function to fetch the latest Bitcoin price from each exchange. And this is all caps. So let's just change this. Function to fetch the latest Bitcoin price from each exchange. All right, so let's call this function get underscore price, and it's going to take in the exchange, and we'll put exchange name, and then the URL, and then colon. All right, and then we're going to create a try. So this type try here, and in this try, we're going to get the response. So I'm going to create a variable called response like Google suggested here, and set it equal to request.getURL. Okay, and this will send a request to the API endpoint. Okay. So next, let's go ahead and create a variable called data and set it equal to response.json, left parentheses, right parentheses. So this will parse the JSON response into a dictionary. And what is JSON? JSON. It just stands for JavaScript Object Notation. All right. Okay. So I think that looks good. Next, let's go ahead and extract. I'm going to bring this up a little bit. Here we go. All right. So let's extract Bitcoin's price based on the exchange format differences. All right, so each API has a slightly different format as we saw earlier. So I like what Google has suggested here. I'm just going to tab over and explain exactly what Google's doing and maybe make some changes. So here we're checking if the exchange name is Binance. If it is, then we're going to get that price from Binance. And the thing is, the Binance API was the API that gave us the error. So if I go back up here, we can see that says service unavailable. So the structure doesn't really matter in this case. So what that means is here, we don't really have to put price. We could put anything. We could put price. We could put gibberish. It doesn't matter because it's not going to get it. Okay. All right. So next, it says else if the exchange is Coinbase, then we're going to go into data and then amount to get that price. So let's check that out. Let's go back to Coinbase here. We're going to go into data and then amount. All right. So let's go back here. Data amount. That looks good. And we have one more exchange, right? So I need another else if statement. So else if the exchange is equal to Kraken, then we're going to go exactly where Google has suggested here. So let's just tab over and let's just double check this, right? So let's go to our Kraken API. Let's check in results, XXBTZ USD, and then C, and then position 0. So let's go here. All right, so we have results here. So we're going to go into results, XXBTZ USD. So that's good. And then we're going to go to C just like we want to. And then we're going to get that price at position 0, right? If we go to position 1, we'll be getting this price here or whatever that number is. All right, so we're going to be getting this price here at position 0. All right, so that looks good. After that, return price. And then we're going to have our exception as E. Okay, so this right here is going to handle any errors if the API requests fail. And then we're going to print error fetching price from, we're going to print the exchange, and then we're going to print the error message. And then we're going to return none if fetching fails. All right, so I like this. I'm just going to change a few things. Instead of setting price equal to this, we're just going to return the price. So let's just return all of these, return, and we can get rid of this. All right, so I think that looks good. That's our try except. Okay, let's go ahead and run this cell. Hopefully I didn't make any mistakes here. Let's create a new cell. All right, now I'm going to create a function to detect arbitrage opportunities. And we're going to do this by comparing Bitcoin prices across the exchanges. Okay, so I like what Google has suggested here for the name. We are going to call it detect arbitrage. We're not going to take in any exchanges. We're just going to take in nothing here. So our function is going to be called detect arbitrage. And I want to do dictionary comprehension to fetch the price data for each exchange and then store it into a dictionary. So let's create a variable called prices. I'm going to set it equal to left and right curly braces because it's going to be our dictionary. We're going to have exchange be our key, and then our value will be the price, which we're going to use that function get price to get the price. All right, and so just like Google has here, this looks good to me, so I'm just going to tap over. And so our key will be the exchange. Then our value will be the price. So we'll get our price using that get price function for exchange and URL in our exchanges dictionary. Okay. So let me just put here in some comments. This is a dictionary, or this is dictionary comprehension. And all we're doing is fetching price data for each exchange and storing it in a dictionary. All right, that's it. Okay, and our dictionary is called prices. Okay, so next let's go ahead and convert the dictionary into a pandas data frame. And this will allow us to do easier analysis. All right. So I'm going to create a variable called df, which will be short for data frame. And I'm going to set it equal to pd dot data frame, left parentheses, right parentheses. And we're going to convert our prices dot items to a list. So we're going to do list and then prices dot items, left parentheses, right parentheses. We're going to give our data frame some columns. So we're going to set columns equal to, it will be exchange and price. Okay. And that should do it. Hopefully. Let me just make sure the left and right parentheses are matching up, and they are. Okay, so next let's identify the lowest and highest price from the exchanges. Okay, so that's easy enough. I'm going to create a variable called min underscore price, and I'm going to set that equal to df price dot min, left parentheses, right parentheses. So all I'm doing is I'm going into our data frame that we created here, which is df, and I'm going to the price column, and I'm getting the minimum value using that .min method. Okay, and then to get the max price, it's going to be very, very similar. I'm going to create a variable called max underscore price, set it equal to df price dot max. So I'm just going to tab over here. All right, and next I am going to calculate the potential profit, and Google already put that in here. So it created a variable called profit. I would just call it profit underscore potential. And I'm going to set it equal to our max price minus our min price. So that's going to be the price difference between the exchanges, right? Okay. So we have that. Next, let's go ahead and print the price comparison table. So I'm just going to print, I'm going to put here live crypto prices and then colon, and then we're just going to print our data frame df. All right, and maybe I'll put a new line here, so \n. Okay, and I guess also what we can do is determine some threshold. So let's go ahead and write that. We're going to determine if arbitrage is profitable based on a threshold. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set that threshold to be $1 for this example. So I like what Google suggested here. I'm just going to tab over. Okay, so if the profit potential is greater than or equal to $1, then we're going to print there's an arbitrage opportunity found. And I'm going to put arbitrage opportunity, let's do detected, right? And then it has the profit here, which looks good. So let's add something else. Let's put buy at $, left curly brace, right curly brace. And we're going to put min underscore price here. Okay, and then a comma, and then we're going to put sell at left and right curly brace, max underscore price. And I want a $sign here. Okay, and then we'll put a comma here, then put potential profit, and then put the profit potential rounded to 2 decimal places. That looks good. Okay, and then else, if the profit potential is not greater than or equal to $1, then we're going to put no arbitrage opportunity found. So that works for me. So let's go ahead and run this. Let's create a new cell. And now we're just going to run our bot, right? So to do that, just run detect arbitrage. That's function that we created. And let's see how this works out. So let's run it. All right. So we can see here we did get our error message, error fetching price from Binance price, live crypto prices. We can see the exchange column here, the price column here, right? So for Binance, we get a NAND value, not a number. For Coinbase, we get 10, or I'm sorry, not 10,000. We get $108,000 and $108,092 and about 19 cents. I'm rounding that up. And then for Kraken, we're getting about $108,089.40. So now we see that there was an arbitrage opportunity detected. We can buy at the price of Kraken, and then we can sell at the price of Coinbase, and we make $2.79. That would be our potential profit. Okay, so now you have a working crypto arbitrage bot. You can tweak the bot to track more cryptocurrencies, improve the profit calculations by factoring in things like transaction fees. You can automate trade execution with exchange APIs. But most importantly, know that this is not financial advice. Okay, make sure to do your own research before making any sort of trades or investment. This is just a fun educational video on how to code something like this, right? So that's it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to subscribe for more coding tutorials. Like this video. If you found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and ring the bell icon so you never miss an upload. Again, please like this video if you found it helpful. And if you want to support this channel and get access to the full Python script, you can check out my Patreon at patreon.com/computerscience, and the link will be in the description below. Remember, this bot is for educational purposes only, so feel free to tweak the code and experiment with different strategies. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.